Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Now today we're going to be taking a look at and talking about this thing over my right shoulder. This is the brand new 300 GT sim racing wheel from Conspit. Now Conspit are a Chinese brand, and if you followed the channel you'll remember I tested their CPP Lite pedal set a couple of years ago now, and since that time Conspit have released various sim racing products including rigs, wheelbases, wheel rims and even more pedals. Now, Conspit reached out and asked me if I wanted to try out the 300 GT wheel rim, and I thought it looked very interesting for the price, so of course I said yes. But before we dive further into the video, the necessary disclaimer. Conspit sent me this unit to test and use, so I haven't paid for it, but I'm not affiliated with Conspit in any way, shape or form. I don't have any affiliate links, I don't have any discount codes for you guys, so if you buy one of these wheel rims, I don't receive a penny. This isn't a sponsored video, however, I have marked the video up as paid promotion as I receive the item for free, and this is the way I'm going to do it moving forwards. But just to confirm, I haven't been paid by Conspit, I don't receive any kickbacks from Conspit, and I was sent this item for free. So I'll give you some info about the wheel rim. It's a Formula style wheel rim coming in at 300mm. It's got a CNC machined aluminium frame with a carbon fibre front plate. On the front, it has 8 RGB backlit buttons, 4 thumb encoders, 3 front rotary encoders, and 2 7-way funky switches. It's got a small 2.9-inch colour screen with a resolution of 800 by 268. On the rear, you'll find 2 further buttons along with carbon fibre shifter paddles and carbon fibre dual clutch paddles, both of which use Hall sensors. It's also fitted with Conspit's Quick Con to enable you to fit your chosen quick release. It's to be used on PC only and connected via the one supplied USB cable. In the box, you obviously get the wheel, USB cable, some sticker sheets for the wheel, and the nuts and bolts to attach it to whichever QR you have. So when I look at a product, I look at it as if I'm going to buy it with my own money, and usually break it down into 4 simple categories: looks, build quality, performance, and value for money. So firstly, let's talk about looks. Now, when I first saw this wheel rim, I was a little bit taken aback with the small screen, as it's very different to most wheels on the market that have a screen, and I actually thought to myself that I would rather have it without. Now, I've always been of the opinion that for a wheel to have a screen, it's got to be big enough to fit the 1,000,001 different pieces of information sent from the simulator, but after using this for a few weeks, changed my mind, and now I actually quite like it. The wheel itself pretty much mirrors any other Formula wheel on the market. The carbon fibre on the front plate looks great, and the styling is nice, even though there's nothing really groundbreaking. But as I've said before, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. This layout is obviously what us sim racers like. So onto build quality, which on the whole is pretty good, although the wheel I have does seem to have either some damage or an imperfection on the upper left side. It doesn't affect how the wheel operates, and my hand never touches that part of the wheel rim when driving, but when you buy something, you expect it to be free from marks or blemishes. I might have just been unlucky and got the one with a mark on it, but if I was going to send something to somebody and know it was going to be going on YouTube, I'd make sure that that unit was perfect. But fingers crossed, I'm the only one. Now, like I said, build quality is generally pretty good, but the materials used don't seem the best. The carbon fibre on the front plate feels super thin, and when you tap it with your nails, it feels more like plastic than carbon fibre. On the front of the rim, you can see the silver Allen heads, which, in my opinion, make the front look a little bit DIY. I would have liked to have seen them come in black, which would have been a little bit more easy on the eye. The buttons feel a little on the cheap side, although they do have a nice positive click. But it's a different story with the encoders. Both the front and the thumb encoders are excellent. Now, I've got no idea what the grips are made of, but they're really firm, but they're not hard plastic, but they're not soft. You can't squish them, but they're comfortable. Very strange, but undoubtedly they'll be very hard wearing. The display is nice and bright with just enough information on there, and I've not missed any of the information that I would usually get on a larger screen. The wheel is compatible with SimHub, so you can make your own profiles for the RGB buttons to display information from the simulator, such as flags, spotter, ABS, etc. But the dashboards are only available within the Conspit software, so even if you're using the wheel with SimHub, you'll still have to run the Conspit software to see the dashboards. The shifters and dual clutch are really good with a nice positive shift without them being too clicky. A clicky paddle shifter is definitely one of my sim racing pet hates. Now, onto performance, which has been excellent. Now, I always say the best way to test new hardware is to use it as intended for an extended period of time. And if you're not focusing on that bit of hardware whilst using it, well, in my opinion, it's doing a pretty good job. The wheel is nice and light. I think it weighs about 1,100 grams without the QR. So the force feedback is really snappy, really detailed. The screen is bright and clear. And although it's got minimal detail, it's got enough on there to help you out a little. Same story with the RPM lights, nice and clear, nice and bright. Ergonomically, the wheel fits me really well. All the buttons and rotaries are within easy reach. And from a user's point of view, I can't really fault it. But being on the larger side for a Formula rim at 300mm, I think it's more suited to GT racing. Now, finally, onto price, which is the main reason I said yes to taking a look at this wheel rim. So this wheel rim, with all the features I've mentioned, will cost you approximately £308 plus taxes. Now, even with all the negative nitpicking things that I've mentioned, I still think that's remarkable value for money. So would I spend my own money on it? If I was in the market for a wheel in this price range, then definitely. I can't think of a wheel with all these features on the market for less money. So going back to my point about build quality and the materials, yeah, the buttons might not be the best quality. The carbon fibre on the front might be thin. But 308 quid? I genuinely think that's a bargain. So I want to say a huge thank you to Conspit for sending me this to test and use. I'll leave a link down below in the video description if you want to go and check it out in a little bit more detail. But as always, thanks for watching. Have a great week. See you later. Cheers.